This is not my story, just a close friend of mine who attended high school in the 70s is very lucky to be alive. Tracy is a very intelligent person, so let's be clear, it wasn't pure luck that saved her. She was walking home from school one day for some reason late enough that there was nothing left of real daylight. It was that time of evening where you can only half see. Perhaps she didn't have a ride, or she usually walked home earlier. I'll have to ask. At the time, her town was growing quickly into idyllic suburbs, but it still had winding roads and patches of woods and a walking trail that was made along the path of an old rail line. She took this trail as a shortcut, knowing it was bad to be out much after dark. That, and her mother had no patience for excuses if she was home late. Plus, despite all the stories she'd been hearing, you never really truly believe it's going to happen to you. She was walking by herself when she saw a man on the trail ahead. He was walking too. That's what a walking path is for. She didn't crowd him, but surely he could hear her footsteps following. He was too far ahead for her to make out much, but after a while, as the trail began to bend, he stepped off it into the shadow of some tall bushes. Now, there's at least one reason a man might stop in some bushes, and Tracy stopped walking. She was now getting an unnerving feeling, that little voice that people like to call alarm bells going off in their head. She waited a moment, a minute. It didn't take very long to realize that he was still there, waiting for her. I don't know if this is part of her story officially, but I have this blurry image in my head of him leaning out ever so slightly to check that she was still there, and then sinking back into the shadows. She wasn't taking any chances with it. Late as it was, she decided to cut back to the closest road. I think she was still clutching her textbooks when she made it into the road and set herself to walking along it at the risk of being hit by a car. There were no sidewalks here, and it was a series of perilous curves. She told me she remembered the headlights whooshing by with inches to spare and thinking to herself, I'd rather be struck dead here than suffer whatever he would do to me. She made it home. She told her mother about the man. He was in the newspaper within the next weeks, in fact. Later identified as Philip Joseph Hughes, Jr., papers just called him the East Bay Strangler. He killed 3 women around that same time and place.